All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, hands down, the American League East was the toughest division in Major League Baseball last season, as four teams won at least 90 games, with three of them going to the postseason. And the way things are shaping up heading into the 2022 MLB season, we could see more of that tough and rugged competition in the AL East. And I'm going to start off with the defending division champs. I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Rays. 2 years ago, we saw this team win the American League East en route to winning the American League pennant. Last year, Tampa Bay won 100 games before they were upset in the divisional round at the hands of the Boston Red Sox. Now, of course, the Rays are doing it on a budget. They don't have a lot of big stars, but what they do have is a system, and it's a very effective system under manager Kevin Cash that's going to put them in contention once again. You look at this lineup with the likes of Randy Arozarena, Austin Meadows, Yandy Diaz, and Kevin Kiermaier. They're once again going to be very formidable. They have quality pitching, which includes the likes of Shane McClanahan, and because of that, Tampa's going to be right in the mix to win this division once again. Then I look at the New York Yankees. You know, the Yankees, they have not had a losing season since 1992. But also, you got to go back to 2009 to find the last time that the Yankees won the World Series. And of course, it doesn't seem like that long, but if you're a Yankee fan, that is an eternity. Now, once again, Brian Cashman is the general manager for the Bronx Bombers, while Aaron Boone is back as the skipper for the Yankees. Will this be the final season for Aaron Judge with the Yankees? We'll have to wait and see. Of course, sometimes arbitration can, force or be a very bad thing in regards to the relationship between a player and a team. So we got to see how this plays out for Judge and the Yankees this year. The addition of Josh Donaldson, the 36-year-old third baseman, he gives them another glove at third base, but he also gives them a quality bat as far as power, and you'll probably fall in love with that left field line at Yankee Stadium. You look at it, will John Carlos Stanton be able to stay healthy? That's always big thing when you think about the Yankees. The Yankees brought back a pair of lefties as well, and Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo. Of course, both of them were acquired prior to the trade deadline last year by Cashman. Neither guy is going to hit for average, but the bottom line is they're pull hitters and they should be more effective now, being that MLB has banned the shift. Now, the Yankees are going to hit, make no mistake about it, because they were third in the American League in homers last year, but they were also fourth in strikeouts. So, it's kind of like the gift and the curse at the same time. But nonetheless, you look at this Yankee pitching, and for me, it's one of those where besides Garrett Cole, are they going to get anything? And I know that some Yankee fans are probably not going to be happy with Garrett Cole, being that he didn't deliver in the wild card loss to the Boston Red Sox. But you know what? He is their best pitcher. He's still a very quality pitcher. But the bottom line is, when you take those big pinstripe dollars, you have to deliver in those key moments. So let's see how things work out for Mr. Cole heading into the season. The Yankees still have Aroldis Chapman down in that bullpen for late inning situations. And because of that, they're always going to be in the mix to win some games. Now, you look at the Boston Red Sox, and the Red Sox really surprised some people last year once they got Alex Cora back as their manager. And the Red Sox were right back in contention. They were a wild card team. They beat the Rays in the divisional round, and they were very formidable in the ALCS against the Houston Astros. So you look at the Red Sox, to me, I think they overachieved in 2021, but do they have enough to get back to the postseason this year? We saw this team recently sign Trevor Story, the former Colorado Rockies infielder. He's now going to be in that infield with the likes of Xander Bogarts and Rafael Devers. Boston still has the bat of JD Martinez, who is one of the better power hitters in the American League. Now, pitching wise, the Chris Sale injury really hurts this team. And what are they going to get from Nathan Eovaldi? That's a big thing because Eovaldi, he's up and down as a pitcher from time to time. We saw Boston lose Eduardo Rodriguez as he went to the Detroit Tigers. And honestly, I can't blame the Red Sox there because the Tigers, to me, I think overpaid for Rodriguez. But nonetheless, that's another arm that they're down in their rotation. So let's see how Boston survives that. The Toronto Blue Jays, they're knocking on the door, but will they be able to break through? And I say that because the Blue Jays, to me, at the end of last season, were playing some of the best ball, if not the best ball in Major League Baseball. But the bottom line is they just weren't good enough to get to the postseason. They won 91 games. And generally, when you win 91 games, that's good enough for you to win your division. Toronto finished in fourth place in the American League East last year. So that gives you an idea of how deep and how competitive this division was last year. But nonetheless, Toronto is right there under manager Charlie Montoyo. Now, we saw Vlad Guerrero Jr. finish second in the American League MVP race last year. And if it wasn't for the exploits of Shohei Ohtani as both a pitcher and a hitter, we would be talking about Vlad Guerrero Jr. as the incumbent as far as being the American League MVP. He is that good. It's not just about Vlad in this lineup. They still have the likes of Bo Bichette. Toronto did lose Marcus Simeon in free agency to the Texas Rangers, but we saw them acquire Matt Chapman from the Oakland Athletics. He's going to be able to fit right into this lineup and have an impact. You also look at the likes of Kevin Biggio, George Springer, and Teoscar Hernandez as well. Pitching wise, Toronto lost Robbie Ray in free agency to the Seattle Mariners, but they picked up former San Francisco Giants starter Kevin Gossman, and they still have Jose Berrios in this rotation. And I think that's definitely going to give the Jays an opportunity to win the East or be in contention to win the East once again here in 2022. Now, bottoming out in this division, you got the Baltimore Orioles. And, for Baltimore, they've really taken it on the chin and they got to find a way to compete because 3 out of the last 4 years have seen them lose at least 100 games. And the only time they didn't lose 100 games was in 2020, and we had a shortened season due to COVID. They only played 60 games. But nonetheless, Baltimore went 52 and 110 last season, and they only managed to win 20 games within the American League East as the contenders in this division really took it upon themselves to beat up on the Birds. Now, Brandon Hyde is entering his fourth year as a manager of the O's, and honestly, the only reason he's back is because he's cheap. He's in it. He's expendable. That's the bottom line. But one of the few bright spots for this club is Cedric Mullins. So let's see what he can do. It's going to be important for Baltimore to get off to a solid start, to get some confidence, to get some belief for themselves as they're going to look to hang with the big boys in this division. But it's easier said than done. Surviving in this division, and it's not just a Baltimore thing, but surviving in this division as a whole, it means that you have to win the games that you're supposed to, which means for the other four teams who are once again expected to win to compete for the top spot in this division, they're going to have to beat up on Baltimore. You're going to have to take the series consistently against the teams that you're supposed to beat. And of course, for the Toronto Blue Jays, they're going to look back at those few games that they did lose late in the season to Baltimore last season, and they're going to say to themselves, wow, what could have been? But nonetheless, I think this is a four-team race throughout, just like it was last year. You're going to have the Rays, Yankees, Red Sox, and Blue Jays all in contention. I'm going to pick the Rays to win this division, but that's not to say that just because the other three teams, the Jays, the Yankees, and Red Sox, don't win this division, that they're out of the they're out of competition. Absolutely not. Of course, an expanded postseason now, more opportunities for wild cards teams to make the playoffs. And the bottom line is, you look at it, the Yankees. I know that their owner has said that, hey, We're not really looking to spend that much more money. But the thing is, the bottom line is, I think they see how the season plays out, and of course, like they always do, they're going to try to make some moves at the deadline. I think Toronto is going to be open for business at the deadline, and I think Boston's going to feel it out and see what they can do as well. So the bottom line is, you're once again going to see the most competitive baseball in Major League Baseball played in the American League East. You're going to see multiple teams from this division make the postseason. And the bottom line is, it's just trying to find a way to survive, because you have competitive baseball, you have competitive teams, you have very good teams, very good fundamentally sound teams. And with that said, you get a higher level of competition. So let's see how things play out in the American League East with the start of this season right around the corner. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.